A lot of folks ask me, well, how many worked here? Well, they had about 1,200 on payroll, but not all of them actually came inside a mine. Some of them probably never been inside a mine. They have a total of like 7,000 acres of property here, 100 years ago. They bought 4,000 acres, leased 3,000, so they got 7,000 acres to work with. A lot of that lumber was used to build a mill, not just for firing the furnaces to roast the ore, but a lot of it just to build the buildings. Now, one single building, for instance, the stamp mill. The stamp mill was 5 stories high, 300 foot long, 100 feet deep. It took 1 million feet of lumber for that single building. Plus, you got the chlorination plant, you got the assay office, blacksmith, what they call the company store. They had all that right here. It's on a little town. So they had about 1,200 on payroll, and I say probably half of that actually was in and out of the mine. They had their own power system. They run 8-hour shifts. So probably on one shift, they probably had, my guessing, no one knows for sure. And all the records burned up somehow 100 years ago. But our best guess, they had probably around 100 to 125 people each shift coming in and out these doors. Now, one of the first things he done when he brought the rock out of the mine was take it into a stamp mill. The stamp mill was to crush the rock up to get the gold out of it. That powder was washed across mercury. The mercury would catch the gold. But one problem this mine had was being below the water table, the gold was trapped inside the sulfides. We call it the pyrite, or fool's gold. That contains real gold too in this area. So that fool's gold had to be roasted. And that roasting was done to burn the sulfur out, so that way you can dissolve it down to get the gold from a solution. It was a long process, complicated, but it worked. It was a brand new process that turned out to be 95% effective, when most mines lost about half their gold. Now, the actual roasting was done in 8 furnaces. It took 400 cords of wood just to fire them up. One reason why they needed so much wood for all the property was for the roasting. Well, here behind me is the smokestack. This smokestack extends down into the ground about 20 feet, and then it goes straight out into the roasting area. They had a big 44-inch pipe coming into the side of the mountain to help pull out all the sulfur from all the roasting. So that big 44-inch pipe came into the bottom of this big chimney, and then straight up to the top of the mountain about 66 feet. So all we see here is 66 feet. The rest of it is underground. It's about 20 feet. So altogether, over 80-foot smokestack. One of the very few things actually still here. But eventually, we'll bring regular folks back here, show it to you. And that's pretty neat. I've been inside this thing, too. And just looking up, it's pretty spooky. So we got the smokestack. Down the valley is the assay office. And also the rock retainer walls for the big stamp mill. Those are still there. Of course, right now it's pretty grown up. A lot of work to be done, but eventually, with your help, we'll get it all cleaned up and show it to you.